Young and the Restless Spoilers reveal that Victor Newman, the head of the powerful Newman family, is once again facing a complex conspiracy involving his arch-nemesis, Ian Ward. With his wits and determination to protect his family, Victor has been gradually uncovering Ian's tricks, causing his dark plans to collapse little by little. Ian Ward's deception exposed. Ian Ward has long been known as a deceitful person, always trying to manipulate those around him to serve his own interests. After a period of hiding under the guise of a reformed man, Ian tries to regain the trust of the community. However, his efforts are quickly questioned when Victor discovers unusual signs. It all starts when Victor learns about news related to Tessa, a girl who was hospitalized in an emergency, and Sharon Newman, who suddenly disappeared without a trace. The pieces of the puzzle are slowly coming together, and Victor begins to suspect Ian of being involved in these strange events. The investigation begins. Not missing any opportunity, Victor quickly summons Ian for a confrontation. At the same time, he orders Michael, his trusted lawyer, to dig deeper into Ian's past and current connections. The investigation results reveal that Ian was once imprisoned in a prison, where Jordan, another dangerous man, is also serving his sentence. What's strange is that just a few days after Jordan's escape, a mysterious call from the prison confirms that nothing has changed while Jordan is here. This statement completely contradicts what Claire, a key witness, later reports. Unexpected clues. During the investigation, Victor receives information that someone heard a scuffle in Ian's motel room the night before Jordan disappeared. A blonde woman is seen leaving Ian's room in a hurry. This is the key point for Victor to step up his investigation. Claire, who had previously confronted Ian, happened to witness the presence of this blonde woman. With her boldness, Claire decided to follow her and eventually discovered that it was Jordan, who had escaped from prison. In a tense encounter, Claire not only confronted Jordan but also tried to approach her emotionally, hugging Jordan in the hope of finding out the truth from her. Conflict in the Newman family. After the unexpected encounter, Claire immediately reported everything to Victoria and Nikki, two women who always tried to protect her. Victoria wanted to stay away from all trouble to keep her family safe, while Nikki supported Claire to stop following to avoid danger. However, Victor had a completely different plan. Victor saw this as a golden opportunity for Claire to approach Jordan. He convinced Claire to stay in touch with Jordan and report her every move. For Victor, Jordan is the key to uncovering the truth about Ian Ward. Claire's inner conflict. Despite trying to follow Victor's advice, Claire begins to doubt her family's true motives. The more she interacts with Jordan, the more she realizes that things are not as they seem. Jordan seems to be caught in a web of lies and terrifying secrets that Ian has created. Claire is faced with a difficult choice: continue to trust Victor and the Newman family, or help Jordan, who seems to be Ian's victim. This internal struggle not only disorients Claire, but also makes her question her own loyalties and morals. Victor's next plan. Victor is not one to give up easily. Seeing Claire wavering, he decides to push his plan forward by releasing more evidence to incriminate Ian. He sets out to prove that Ian was not only involved in Jordan's escape, but also behind a series of plots to destroy the Newman family. With the support of Michael and his allies, Victor organizes a direct confrontation with Ian. During this meeting, Ian is not only exposed to everyone, but also realizes that he has lost all the trust of those who once supported him. A dramatic open ending. As the story draws to a close, the knots are still not completely untied. Ian Ward must face the consequences of his actions, but will this be enough to protect the Newman family from future dangers? Which side will Claire choose to stand on, and where will her relationship with Jordan go? One thing is for sure, Victor will stop at nothing to ensure that all those who threaten his family pay. But will he have to sacrifice too much to achieve that? Victor Newman, the head of the Newman family, known for his sharp intellect and fierce determination, once again faces one of his greatest enemies, Ian Ward. Ian, who is said to have reformed, is now suspected of being at the center of a series of dark conspiracies, directly threatening the Newman family and those around them. With his sharp wit and determination to protect his family, Victor decides not to let Ian get away with it this time. It all begins when Victor hears about a disturbing event. Tessa, a close friend of the Newman family, is suddenly hospitalized in critical condition, and Sharon Newman, another important figure, disappears without a trace. Victor, with his sharp instincts, quickly feels that things are not as simple as they seem. The vague pieces of a larger conspiracy gradually appear, and Victor begins to suspect Ian Ward, whom he has always considered a poisonous snake waiting to strike. Victor does not sit still. He orders Michael Baldwin, the family's loyal lawyer, to thoroughly investigate Ian. Michael quickly discovers that Ian had a connection with Jordan, another dangerous criminal, while they were both in prison. What's even more surprising is that just before Jordan's escape, there was a mysterious call from the prison confirming that everything is the same. This statement is completely at odds with reality when Claire, a key witness, reports that she saw a blonde woman sneaking out of Ian's room at the time Jordan disappeared. Claire, one of the witnesses to the anomaly, decides to follow the blonde woman. With daring and determination, she discovers that this woman is none other than Jordan, who has just escaped from prison and seems to be trying to hide his identity. In a tense confrontation, Claire not only confronts Jordan but also unexpectedly hugs her, trying to reach out emotionally to better understand what is going on. This meeting leaves Claire with big questions. Jordan is not what she was told. Instead of being a cruel man, Jordan appears to be a woman caught in a complex web of lies and manipulation, with Ian Ward at the center. After contacting Jordan, Claire quickly shares everything with Victoria and Nikki Newman. Victoria, always worried about the safety of her family, immediately wants Claire to distance herself from Jordan and stop getting involved in all the trouble. Nikki, although agreeing with Victoria, cannot help but worry about how Victor will handle this situation. Nikki knows her husband, Victor always tends to put his goals above everything, even the safety of those he loves. Meanwhile, Victor has a completely different plan. He sees an opportunity in Claire's approach to Jordan. Victor believes that if Claire stays close to Jordan, she can become his eyes and ears, providing important information about Ian. However, he does not expect that this plan will put Claire in a terrible internal struggle. Claire is torn between loyalty and the truth. The closer Claire gets to Jordan, the more complex the story becomes. Jordan, rather than being Ian's accomplice, seems to be just a victim of manipulation. Jordan's words and actions gradually make Claire doubt her own family, especially the way Victor is willing to sacrifice everything to achieve his goals. Claire begins to question, is the Newman family, who always emphasize honor and honesty, truly transparent? Is Victor using her to carry out his plan? This internal struggle puts Claire in a difficult position: protect her family or help Jordan find justice? While Claire faces personal conflicts, Victor does not stop. He decides to stage a direct confrontation with Ian Ward. With evidence gathered from Michael and his allies, Victor exposes Ian in front of everyone. Ian, cornered, cannot deny the accusations of his connection with Jordan and his involvement in recent conspiracies. However, Ian is not easy to defeat. He manages to sow doubts in the minds of those around him, even trying to divide the Newman family. This puts even more pressure on Claire, who holds important information that could decide the fate of both sides. Although Ian is exposed, the story is not really over. Jordan, with his complicated role, seems to still hold a part of the truth that no one knows. Claire, drawn into the game of adults, now has to face the fact that not all of Victor's decisions were right. The big question is, will Claire continue to stand by the Newman family, or will she choose her own path to find out the truth? The Newman family is once again caught up in a complex conspiracy that threatens the fragile peace they have built. Victor and Nick Newman, with their shrewdness and determination to protect their family, face dangerous new questions. A mysterious accomplice emerges who is behind the dark deeds involving Ian Ward, and they must find a way to expose the truth before it's too late. As new information about Sharon Newman's case emerges, Victor and Nick are left reeling. Chance Chancellor, a trusted ally, brings crucial evidence. Sharon was not the driver of the car that crashed into the river, as they first thought. Chance presents security footage that shows Sharon being attacked just before the car plunged into the river. A stranger covered her mouth with a rag, shoving her into the back seat as she passed out. The footage not only clears Sharon's innocence, but raises a more important question: who was behind the kidnapping? As Victor and Nick watch the footage, they can't help but notice something familiar about the kidnapper. A certain look, a certain detail, makes them wonder, is this someone they know? But the answer is still unclear. They don't realize that it's Jordan, a figure in the dark network that Ian Ward has worked so hard to build. Victor becomes increasingly convinced that Ian Ward couldn't have acted alone. With Ian's experience and cunning, he must have an accomplice helping him run his plans from the shadows. This forces Victor and Nick to focus all their resources on finding this mysterious person. They realize that only by knowing the identity of Ian's accomplice can they solve the problem and protect Sharon and her family from danger. Chance continues to investigate, gathering more clues from the footage and traces around the crime scene. Meanwhile, Victor directs his team to relentlessly follow the connections between Ian and possible accomplices. The question remains, who is Jordan, and what role does he play in this plot? Daniel and the disruption of the revenge plan. In another development, Daniel Romalotti, with his enthusiasm and desire to protect those he loves, stops a dangerous revenge plot from Billy Abbott. Daniel, realizing that Billy's plan could lead to serious consequences, tries to convince Phyllis Summers, his mother, to cooperate with him on a new project. Daniel believes that by focusing Phyllis on another goal, something more positive, she will not be drawn into Billy's meaningless revenge plans. After a tense conversation, Daniel leaves, leaving Phyllis conflicted and confused. Billy and the plot against Victor. As soon as Daniel leaves, Billy Abbott appears with less than good intentions. Billy, armed with his own plan for revenge, asks Phyllis if she would be willing to join him in his pursuit of the Chancellor. However, Phyllis, who always demands concrete and clear information, complains that Billy's plan lacks detail. Under pressure from Phyllis, Billy finally confesses his true goal: he wants to destroy Adam Newman. Billy believes that Adam is Victor's greatest weakness, and if Adam falls, Victor will be severely damaged. This plan, in Billy's eyes, is the shortest path to defeating Victor Newman, the man he sees as the source of all his misfortunes. Phyllis is not easily convinced. She sees Billy's plan as more than just a strategy to attack Victor, but also deeply personal. Phyllis quickly realizes Billy's true motive: he wants revenge on Adam for what happened to Chelsea Lawson. Chelsea's painful past, her complicated relationship with Adam, and recent events have left Billy filled with resentment. Phyllis, unable to hide her disappointment, calls Billy's actions a selfish plot for revenge. She warns him that this hatred will not only destroy Adam, but could also push Billy down a path with no way out. While Billy is immersed in his revenge plan, Victor and Nick continue to search for the truth about Ian Ward and his accomplices. Little clues are put together, and Jordan's image begins to appear more clearly in their minds. Will the Newman family be able to uncover the truth in time and stop Ian before he causes any more harm? The story becomes more complicated as each character is caught up in their own goals and plots. Will Daniel, in an effort to change Phyllis's path, be able to help his mother stay away from Billy and his dangerous plans? Who will Phyllis choose to side with as she finds herself caught between reason and emotion? The Young and the Restless is entering a new phase where every decision can have unforeseen consequences. And at the center of it all, characters like Victor, Nick, Billy, and Phyllis will face the biggest question of all.